So it's 2023 and the world is very different. There's inflation, things are getting expensive, and our money is being eroded as we speak. So what does one do when they need more money? They look for ways to make more money. So we're 5 months into the year and I've already tried about 5 different side hustles, and I want to share with you what worked for me and what didn't work for me, and the advantages and disadvantages of them all. The first one I did was post a service that I specialized in on Kijiji. I used to be a mechanic and we used to do tire swaps all the time. So when the weather got warmer, I decided to post my services online, offering tire swap services for about $50. I'll show you guys the ad, actually. The first day I posted it, I literally got I got two clients, and when I finished one, I asked him for a review. This was the original picture I posted, and then this is a description: performing mobile tire swaps. Get your summer tires on today. I'll come perform the service, swap tires, check brakes, check tire pressure, truck wheels, all that stuff right there. The first guy I did the tire repair for, I got him to write me a review, and what I did was, and literally while I was doing this tire repair, I got a request for another job. So then I literally put this screenshot as the first picture, and then that as the second one, put that up, and that basically started the Kijiji visits. I reposted the ad now; it has about 27 visits. But yeah, did 2 tire swaps on the first day. After I posted this, I got another message, and I did a total of 5 tire swaps that day, because one guy wanted to do tire repairs and he referred me to 2 of his buddies. I got another guy who messaged, and the funny thing is, the guy who referred me to his friends, his neighbor saw me do tire repairs, and he asked me, he's like, "Hey, do you want to come do mine as well?" So I went ahead and did it. And then I did another tire repair like about 2 weeks ago, for a total of $400. That's about 10 to 12 hours worked, including the drive to and from my house. I also had 3 other inquiries, but I just wasn't available. So there was a lot of potential to earn more. The weather kind of got cold and rainy in Ontario, so it kind of slowed down for a bit, but I'm fairly certain if I repost the ad, I'll probably get a few more requests. And if you are going to do something like this, I do recommend you repost your ad when you know you're going to be available. So if you're available to do these side hustles on the weekend, post it on a Thursday. You'll get requests Thursday, Friday, and then something booked in for Saturday and Sunday. Honestly, I'll probably serve those same clients again in the wintertime, because they'll probably hit me up and they'll probably refer me to a bunch of other people. But like I said, I used to be a mechanic. So one thing I've kind of realized is that a skill is a lifetime treasure. It sticks with you over the whole course of your life. It can be reused over and over again, and it sticks with you forever. Pretty amazing. For this side hustle, you do require a few tools like an impact wrench or a breaker bar, sockets, torque wrench. I was changing people's tires, giving them recommendations and checking tire pressure and doing everything, then going on a road test with them, and after the road test, re-torquing the wheels, obviously. But I only recommend you do this if you have experience in the field, because the last thing you want to do is try this, someone's tire falls off and someone could lose a life. So hence why I'm recommending post whatever skill you're good at, something that you have and others may be, looking for, whether it be tutoring, babysitting, teaching someone a new language. The best thing about doing it on the side or, during your free time is that you get to set your own prices. If the shops that I worked at were charging 50, 60, 80, I was getting paid 17 an hour. So, no matter how many tire swaps I did, I was only getting paid 17 an hour, versus now I'm taking all the money. I'm taking all that $50 for myself. So use your skills. They're lifetime treasures again. Investment in this all depends on what you're doing. It could be nothing, or it could be a very small amount. Maybe as you scale, the costs can get higher, but I think if you keep a small operation, you can handle it yourself. That was the first side hustle. The second side hustle I started, which I'm fairly certain everyone's probably want to try at one time, is Uber. I did food delivery on Uber. Started in January 2023. Did it for 4 months. I'm actually going to show you my earnings. I'm actually going to show it on my phone, because unfortunately the Uber app, it doesn't show you your earnings the way I want you guys to be able to see my earnings on the desktop, unfortunately. But I'm going to show you here, and hopefully when I edit this, it looks decent and you guys don't have to squint your eyes when viewing, everything. But yeah, here are my earnings. We're going to go all the way. Okay, it looks like it goes to, oh no, it goes, okay, it goes further. So, I was averaging, let's go the first week, I was averaging about, let's say 8 hours. So like, yeah, 2.5 to 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours, it depended, um, per day pretty much. That's what I was averaging. And if you actually calculate everything, where did I go? If you actually calculate everything, it ends up being like, if I calculate the total amount of hours worked versus the total amount of money made, it ends up being 17 an hour, which is above minimum wage. But you have to factor in gas and taxes, which will be collected at the end of the year. Now, I would say that Uber was more worth it when you got tips. Um, you got tips when you did shop and pay orders, and when there was quests active for the weekend. Tips were great. I did notice in the beginning I was getting a lot, and they would make the day worth it. Like if all your deliveries tip like $1 and you have like 12 to 15 deliveries in a day, $12 to $15 in your pocket, right? But it was random though. Some people would tip more, some people would tip less, some people wouldn't tip at all. And recently I noticed I've actually haven't been getting any tips at all, which is kind of weird, but I mean, it's okay. It all, like, a lot of people don't want to really spend money right now. Um, but if you read the notes section, like there's a note section that people can leave when you're doing a delivery. Um, if you read it and you follow their instructions, like, oh, leave food on the table or don't ring the doorbell, they would appreciate it. I also noticed that if I had to deliver food to like a hotel or an apartment, and I, knocked on the door, waited for the guests to like arrive, and hand delivered the food to them, that would go a long way. Make sure you remember to smile. It's funny because over here, if I go to my profile, it's actually an old profile picture. Under this section right here, why I deliver, I actually have right now to fund my small business, ruthlesscreations.com. Before I had something along the lines of, to deliver smiles or see the smiles I give when I deliver. I actually got more tips when I had that. That was the funny thing. Because I'm not sure if people in the app really view this section, but because I don't really use food ordering apps, but I found it funny. When I had that in the bio, people gave more tips. Next, shop and pay orders. They're pretty much what they sound like. You shop for the customer and you pay for it either using your own credit card or an Uber supplied one. These would pay a lot, especially if the customer had a big grocery list. You would still get paid even if most items weren't in stock. Like you would get paid the same amount. I didn't really get many tips from this because people were already spending a lot of money, because if my grocery bill or their grocery bill total was like $80 plus the fee they're paying me was $20 plus whatever Uber charged them. It was a pretty hefty bill. But you did earn a lot of money from this, because I did notice, like in general, I would get anywhere from like an extra $12 to $20 from these trips, all depending on how big the order was. The only confusing part was when you would go to like different locations of the same grocery store, and their layout would be completely different than the last. I think it's a sales and marketing thing, but like, sometimes I go, and of course, obviously how the building is designed, but sometimes I go into a store, produce would be in the front, sometimes it'd be in the back. Milk was always in the back. That's definitely a marketing thing. But that would be only the only time consuming thing. Other than that, you can always beat Uber's, expected time and earn something nice, really, through shopping pay orders. Quests. These are interesting. I'm actually going to go to my screenshots of this one. Quests were actually things that were activated during some weekends, and here they are on my screen. So you would basically earn a certain dollar amount when you completed a certain task. So like, for instance, right here, complete 6 trips, earn an extra $9. So not only would you get what you earned from the trip plus any tips, you would also get money for completing these quests. And as you can see, first 6 trips get $9, second 6 trips get 15, the next 21, and the last ones get 30. And these would usually be this is like from 5 to 9:59 p.m. And then funny thing is, it'd be from 10 p.m. to like 4 a.m. They'd have like these, it would double, it'd be like 12, 24, 36 for, the number of trips completed. Okay, and now I'm actually going to show you what I earned from those, when I did those quests, because I actually earned way more I did in during those quests. Just gotta wait for this to load, because as you can see right here, this was funny, because this whole week Yeah, this whole week right here, you can see February 6th to February 13th are $91. But this one day, I literally did a quest and I earned $141 in a day. See earnings activity. I'm hoping I can show it. Yeah. So, yeah, I did all four that day, I remember. The first one completed was $6. The second one completed was $10. The third one completed was $14. And then the last one completed was $20. So, just in that, I actually ended up earning $141 in one day worked, right? One day worked. And then the last time I did it actually was this past weekend, but I actually want to show you this one because it's probably the most I've earned from Uber. Where is it? 444. Yeah, right here when we did this. This was actually funny because I earned $178 that day, right? But it was funny because the next day on this one, I actually got screwed over. The quest are usually active for a whole weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I earned 178 on the Friday, and then on the Saturday, Uber decides to deduct $66. They said you earned too much money, which is funny now that I look at it. Saturday was April 1st, literally April Fools, like April Fools, motherfuckers. Like, holy shit, like what April Fools, like Uber literally April Fooled all the Uber drivers that day. Because I remember I was speaking to a bunch of them, and they were saying that a bunch of their orders got cut, But yeah, no. So like yeah, so the quest was active, 178. They deducted 66 from my pay, so it was actually $20 plus 66, but they deducted it. And then on the Sunday I earned 87. So just from those 3 days, that's how much I earned from the quest. So pretty much, Uber is pretty decent. You are using your own car, so there's gas, maintenance, wear and tear. Uber doesn't really use much data. I think if I was using the app, 5 days a week for 2 to 4 hours, it would be less than 2 gigs of data. You got to factor in taxes, which I'm leaving to my accountant for the end of the year. But Uber does have perks for drivers, which I really liked, because if you live in Canada like me, you already know there's like a monopoly set up here with the telecommunications industry. Rogers and Bell, they'd be charging you so much. But through their perk system, I actually got a great plan. It's basically like an employee plan, which is pretty awesome because it's literally half off. I'm paying $40 for a plan that's actually $80 just because I'm an employee of Uber. I also downloaded an app to learn Spanish. I haven't really been doing my lessons, but it was fun for the week that I did use it. You do have to invest less money in this. I set up the app in literally half an hour, and I was doing my first delivery. I know you can deliver on bike, especially in Toronto, where foot traffic is easier to get around, or bike traffic, and vehicle traffic is pretty intense. I feel like Uber isn't like the rest of these side hustles where you set how much you get paid. Uber, you get to decide your hours, but there's somebody else deciding your pay, versus the rest of these side hustles, you set your own pay. And now the third side hustle, which is a 360 video booth. So this is something me and my buddies started in November 2022, Spinorama Studio. And actually, I should probably show you, that's actually the video booth's name. I'm going to show you the social media page now. That is actually our page right there. Spinorama Studio. Funny thing is, we started in November 2022. Pretty cool. We got some pretty cool content up there. We try to do something different. We have to stand out, so we have a bunch of different content. We're not like any of the, obviously we post the posts from the events, but we have, different things. Like, oh hey, when you see your crush at a party, that's a funny little series we have going on. Different angles we use, your POV on the booth. We have like our introductions over here. And we try to do something different, what you should do on the 360 booth, because a lot of people always ask. This one does have a bit of a higher investment because the booths can cost anywhere from 5,000 plus, but we split everything 3 ways, so that is pretty nice. And so far, with all the bookings we have, we're probably going to break even in the summertime. So we started in November 2022, spent a bunch of money, and now we're going to break even in summer of 2023. In terms of pricing, we're usually charging $400 for 2 hours, $600 for 3 hours, and $800 for 4 hours. Bigger party sizes we charge a bit more, and obviously we're flexible in terms of if someone wants to create a custom package or someone has a budget in mind. I like this side hustle because, to be honest, you actually don't even have to own a booth. You can go work for somebody else who owns a booth, because we actually were thinking about bringing on another team member who we just pay. So if anybody's watching, you can hit up these booths and literally ask them if you can go work for them. So for example, if I'm charging $800 for 4 hours, I can literally pay the person who comes work for me $100 for the night. They get $100 for a night, work 4 hours, $25 an hour. It's not bad at all, you know what I mean? It's fun, it's pretty decent, and you get to have fun. You get to, be in somebody else's, you get to be in an environment where everybody's just, happy and joyous, like, pretty much. It can be annoying when there's drunk people, but that's just part of the experience, really. Now, one thing we did figure out was that our booth is pretty big and heavy, so we just need somebody to help us set up, like load and unload. But if it's like a small party, like 150, maybe 100 people or less, one person can handle it very easily. So if you want, do this like as a lone wolf type of thing, it pays well. You get to make connections. If you're an extrovert, you get to talk to a lot of people. You get to set your own schedule because you can choose what bookings you want to take and which ones you don't want to take. Whether you want only weekends, evenings, weekday gigs during the evenings, maybe whatever you want. Now the next side hustle, which is actually my main gig, but it can be a side hustle, wedding photographer. If you have the skills, the knowledge, the right equipment, and you're good at photography, this is doable for you. I know a guy who works as an engineer for the government of Canada, and he does wedding photography on the weekend. Now that I think about it, there are a lot of people in the wedding industry. They actually have main jobs, but they also do their wedding stuff on the side as like a side hustle. They have to do it till they want to, or till the business takes off. Now, we're talking wedding photographer because that's what I know. There's actually a shortage of good freelance photographers, and even great freelance photographers. There's plenty of mediocre ones. I remember when we're crazy booked for several weekends in a row. We always have a tough time figuring out who we should hire because, not to brag, but everyone doesn't really offer the type of service that we want to provide. I work as a freelance photographer, but mainly I work for a studio called G Photo Studios, and he's been in the game for about 20 years. So he knows his stuff. He knows his stuff, and he knows what exactly he wants in terms of a photographer. This one does require a big investment. I remember in one of my podcast episodes, I mentioned how the guy I actually worked for gave me his camera in the beginning and let me use it and train with him, which is super rare, by the way. Super grateful for that, but not everyone will let you do that. Today I'm using an A7 IV with a 28-70 2.8 lens, Godox flashes, light stands, batteries, pretty costly, around $9,000. Only reason I mention that is because some people may not hire you if you don't have the latest and up-to-date equipment. But don't let that stop you, because there's a ton of other areas that you can explore, real estate photography, e-commerce, product photography, maternity shoots. Do a workshop, post your services on Kijiji, charge a little less in the beginning, build a portfolio, and then start charging a bit more. Now, most of the gigs I get are either in the evening for the weekdays, and the weekends are usually fully booked. If you can edit photos, that is an asset as well. But weekdays or weekdays in the evening. You can do it after work if you're hustling. Weekends, if your weekends are free, if you're single especially, you can work those. Obviously, like I said, you can edit if you're good at editing, because that is an asset as well. As like I said, most people don't have the time, most people don't want to edit, or some people just aren't good at it. This gig, it can pay well, but it can get a little time to get started. It's not as quick, and it doesn't really happen as fast as you think. So now, other things that I started this year include, posting consistently on my podcast, starting this YouTube channel, subscribe if you're new. Obviously, everybody's new because I just started. Like and share, I guess. I guess I'm supposed to say all that stuff. But subscribe, because I'm going to post content that I feel like is relevant and people can use on their journey of life. You know what I mean? Stuff that's actually beneficial for you. And fun for me to talk about, pretty much. I started my own e-commerce website, ruthlesscreations.ca, where I'm selling apparel and some of my photos that I've taken. We're using a print-on-demand service. I'm still trying these things out, so maybe I'll make a future episode about how they're going and what's going on with them. But another thing I tried as a side hustle was a freelance transcriptionist, but it seems like there's really no work for it. You know what I mean? When we're reading these blogs, I'm pretty sure everybody who's checking this video out, side hustles you can try today. They always mention Transcriptionist. And I applied to 3 websites: Rev, Transcribe Me, and Scribby. And literally all 3 of them literally said that either there wasn't no work available or their exams weren't available. So I kind of just took that as maybe they have enough transcriptionists and they don't need anymore. So that's something I tried, just didn't work out. One thing I would say is that no matter which one of these side hustles I was doing, I made sure to be at my best. Whether it was delivering food to a customer for, to earn $3, or I was being paid $500 a night for at a reception, I was bringing my A game, because like Bedros Keuilian says, how you do anything is how you do everything. So the level of service that I want to provide, I need to showcase that no matter what I'm doing. Because it's about maintaining that high quality of standard, not only for the client, but for myself. Because, to show myself where I want to be, to show myself what I want to become, and, just because, I have to hold myself to a high standard. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Those are the side hustles I tried in 2023, and that's what's, worked for me, and that's what I've tried. Hopefully these kind of help you out. Hopefully maybe they, give you an idea of where you can start. Funny, because I was watching an Alex Hormozy video, and he was talking about tutoring, and that's when I got the idea for posting my tire services on Kijiji, tire swap services. So you know what I mean? So hopefully, you watch this video and you get some sort of an idea. I feel like all these side hustles, I feel like everything has an advantage and a disadvantage. I feel like with any job or passion that you do, eventually there's going to be good things and there will be bad things. You just have to choose what you're comfortable dealing with, pretty much. That's that's all I can really say. And yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe, because everyone here is new. Like, comment, tell me what you liked about the video. Tell me any side hustles that you're starting or you're trying and that's really working for you. I appreciate you guys listening. Thank you very much. Have a good day. So, one second. God dang. Okay, so starting price is $50. Anything extra for SUV and trucks. Currently has 27 visits. That's pretty cool. But anyways, the first day I started, I got about the first day I started, I got 2 clients, and the first client actually